Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Alex Kirsten and in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Skoda's most important car in recent history. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the brand new and fully electric Enyaq iV. You already know that I'm a massive advocate of Skoda. Practical, reliable, last forever. So when they told me that they were entering the electric car market with this, you bet that I was excited. What do you say? We take a proper look. I've had a good look around the car and for the first time ever, I've done some proper homework to check things out underneath. Speaking of which, the Enyaq iV sits on Volkswagen Group's MEB modular electric car platform where the batteries are integrated in the floor to save space. There are 3 batteries and 5 power outputs to choose from, all the way up to 220 kilowatts and a range of more than 520 kilometers. And you can choose from either rear-wheel drive as standard or optional all-wheel drive. In terms of dimensions, the Enyaq iV is 4,649 millimeters long, 1,879 millimeters wide, and 1,616 millimeters tall, which, as you can see, gives my height away a little bit. For context, that means that this car is actually shorter than an Octavia, while offering a similar amount of interior space as a Kodiaq. Now, if that's not simply clever, I don't know what is, but I do know a man who has all of the answers. So let me introduce you guys to Jens from Skoda. Hello Jens, great to meet you.
Hi Alex, great to meet you.
Now, we've obviously got a ground-up EV here, so tell me about the challenges about switching from petrol and diesel to fully electric.
Yeah, it was a big challenge. But first I want to talk about the platform, because the platform, was fulfilling a lot of my wishes. At first, we have a rear-wheel drive, what I really love. We have extremely low center of gravity. We have a long wheelbase and a very good package. A lot of room inside. And we have big wheels, so the biggest wheels we ever had at Skoda. And really short overhangs, wonderful proportions. This is all nice. But of course, the mindset has to be completely different at electric cars. But to have a convenient car with a good range in winter, we had to do a lot of stuff for that.
So one of those things that you did actually create, wasn't it? It was a heat pump.
Yes, we have the option of a heat pump. This is a very important part of the strategy because the heat pump takes most of the electricity for very efficient heating of the car. But the heat pump is not the only issue we did. The efficient heating of a car is a lot about close-to-body heating. And this is why we have heated steering wheel. We offer a very sophisticated seat heating with a lot of areas heated. And we even offer, as an option, a seat heating in the back of the car.
Well, sounds good to me. And another thing that sounds good to me is this car, under 30 kilometers an hour, it kind of makes a kind of noise. So whose decision was that?
For the safety of pedestrians. This car is extremely silent. You are not hearing this car coming. And this is why we have this sound generator externally. And this sound generator has a special artificial sound that the pedestrians hear our car coming. And it was a lot of development work for this sound. Of course, we could play AC/DC, what makes no sense. And it's like that we had this artificial sound that everybody can hear a car is coming.
Absolutely. And I've been having a look around the car, really taking in all the details. And one thing I noticed, Jens, was at the back, behind the rear wheel, there's a drum brake. Why is there no traditional disc brake there?
So this was, of course, a very long discussion. As you know, how you brake the behavior is completely different in an electric car. You brake electrically, so you recuperate the energy back into the battery, that you have a long range. So this means that the discs are hardly not used at normal driving. And you have to clean them, wipe them, by sometimes putting the brake onto it. And so we said the simply clever feature of braking in the back is a drum brake. And so this drum brake was developed by Skoda.
Perfect. I think that clears up something that I was wondering. You didn't have drum brakes on the back so people could do handbrake turns, did you? It was all for regen. Anyway, I'm going to be speaking to some of your colleagues, and one question that I will be asking them is, what is your favourite part of this car? That one thing that excites you most, that you're most proud of?
It's a lot. But what I really love is how good this car is in daily usage. So I was driving up to now several thousand kilometers with the Enyaqs, and you have a lot of comfort. It's extremely silent. You have a lot of room for your stuff inside, for your family. You have a really cool drive. So for me, it's the complete package for everyday use, what I love the most.
Right, let us now move this on and discuss the Enyaq iV's looks. Something I think you'll agree the car absolutely smashes out of the park. It's squat, it's purposeful, it's muscular, and I, for one, want to meet the man whose team designed it. And here he is, Carl. Good to meet you. How are you doing? Carl, we're obviously at the side of the car. Tell me about the design process for that.
Yeah, the all-new Skoda Enyaq iV is a true SUV. Because based on the MEB platform, it shows very special and different proportions. It has a very short overhangs, but it shows a long sloping roofline and therefore a big space in the interior by having for this car, I think, one of the brand values of Skoda Auto. And of course, it shows a very characterful side graphic and, typical for Skoda, it shows a very crisp tornado line which runs throughout the whole car.
Speaking of which, that's actually one of my favourite points of the side. It just goes all the way down here, kinks up, and it kind of meets the rear window. Again, very muscular looking. I'm happy with that. Another thing that I think is really great as well are your new 21-inch wheels. Tell me about those.
Yeah, we offered here a very nice special design for the Enyaq here, offering similar to a turbine. And you can see as well with twisted surfaces on the level, we give it a lot of character and it let the lights flow.
And speaking of aerodynamics, I think I'm right in saying that this has got a drag coefficient of 0.26. I've done my homework.
Yeah, overall you can see it, as we said before, it has a very sloopy roofline on the one hand, also a very long spoiler on the back. And of course, we incorporated as well a lot of air brakes around the car. Have a look here on the rear lamps with the Skoda typical C design and crystal elements. With these sharp brakes on the sides, we continue in the bumper side, and this air cut lowers the resistance of the car, which is outstanding, as you said.
Absolutely. And now that I'm standing at the back of the car, Carl, I think that this is probably my favourite point of the car. It's low, it's squat, it's muscular, a little bit like me, maybe. Speaking of my favourite parts, Carl, what's that one thing that excites you most, where you think, yes, my team and I did such a good job?
Yes, with the all-new Skoda Enyaq iV, we did the next step of the Skoda design language. As you can see, it's not only crystalline and cubistic, but also we gave the cars as well a lot of sculpture now. Look here on the muzzle, over the fenders on the front, but also to the back, which gives the car a lot of power, a lot of strength, and therefore a lot of character.
So, Carl, let's discuss the front end, because one thing that's crystal clear to me is the fact that this is an EV that doesn't shout about the fact that it's an EV, and that for you guys was really important, wasn't it?
Yes, the all-new Skoda Enyaq iV is of course a true Skoda, and therefore it should show as well a true Skoda face. And this we did with a very upright grille here, as you can see, hexagonal shape, and this time the lamells are closed because an ARV only needs the air from the bottom here for the batteries. The grille is flanked by very characterful headlamps here, showing inside some crystal glass elements here for the daylight function and the position lamp, having incorporated as well here some eyelashes continuing the lamels of the grille. And the lamps also show brand new LED matrix technology.
And there's also some special design technology that you haven't told me about. What is that?
Yeah, and we created for the all-new Skoda Enyaq iV the so-called crystal face. It is an illuminated crystal because we say light is the new chrome, and therefore we did it with 130 LEDs with a beautiful crystal treatments of the lamels. It's outstanding, unique, and especially done for this car.
Well, Carl, I have to say, the front end for me just works. We've got a nice big splitter at the bottom as well, inverted power dome on the bonnet, which I think looks great. And you can tell that Carl and his team are super proud of this car because you've put a massive Skoda badge on the front here. It's almost the same size as my hand.
Yeah, it is the signature for our Skoda cars. It shows quality, identity, and of course, a lot of character.
Really nice steering wheel, I like that.
You want to know more about it? Hi,
Hello.
my name is Peter, responsible for interior design.
Nice to meet you, Peter. Yeah, tell me more about the interior. Obviously, you guys pride yourselves in this being a home from a home, but I don't know about you, I do not have a steering wheel in my house.
Well, you certainly have a TV at home, right?
I do indeed.
So therefore, our interiors are democratic. We treat everybody on board the same. whether you are a driver, co-driver, even kids in the back, everybody has to see the big TV. When we created we call it design selections, our lines, our designers, they looked how people live, look at the different lifestyle, and then we created sort of interior architecture inspired homes from loft, studio, suite, lounge. So these are all the different styles you can experience in your homes.
And we're obviously in the Eco Suite at the moment. Tell me a bit about that.
The material in the interior wraps around you, gives you very cozy, very soft feeling. We are sitting on super comfortable seats. They are actually heated, ventilated, massage seats.
And they're also tanned with olive tree leaf extract.
Absolutely. The leather is tenso and the color is called cognac.
So Peter, talk to me about this steering wheel. I have to admit, it's actually probably one of the best steering wheels I've seen in a long time. It's nice and small, it's attractive, perforated leather, 3 spokes as well, and it's also functional.
A steering wheel has to be functional. I mean, first of all, it has to fit perfectly in your hand, and you have to be able to operate it. Nowadays, most of our cars are operated by the touchscreen. This is inspired by the people playing at home with their tablets, then going out with their smartphones, the same way they expect to operate the car. Nevertheless, touch is great, but sometimes while driving the car, you need as well physical controllers, and therefore we are having here these beautiful free-floating rotary controllers. You can control most of the functions by them, and look, they are having as well this crystalline structure, and this is something what comes from the tradition of Czech glassmaking. You find the same structure as well on the air vent controllers, and as well as a little jewel, you find here this little crystal stone on the steering wheel.
Yeah, very nice. And away from eye level, looking upwards, Peter, we've got a really nice big panoramic roof, and that's all touch operated as well.
Oh yeah, same like in our homes, we need a lot of light in the interior to feel airy, and therefore we are having as well in Enyaq the panorama roof.
And what is your favorite part that you had input in? So for you, the interior, what's that one thing that makes you really excited and super proud?
I would say this is this line which runs across the dashboard. It has something to do with our DNA. We call it Skoda line. You find it in the front of the car above the grille, normally where the logo is placed. This line is not only beautiful, but it has a function. If you control the car by the touchscreen, you need a steady hand while driving. So therefore, we created this surface here. You can place your hand and you can operate the touchscreen perfectly.
Yeah, I'd agree as well. That is a really nice feature, like you said. And in front of me, we've obviously got a little display there, and we've got head-up display with augmented reality.
Yeah, this has something to do with the information our brains need to process while driving. In the old times, it was easy. You had the speed, you had maybe the temperature of the oil, and that was it. Nowadays, we are overwhelmed by the information, and therefore we needed to cluster them. In the middle, you find the information regarding the infotainment. This one is dedicated for all the crew. In front of you, on the small screen, you find the information regarding your car, and then the augmented reality head-up display is projecting the information to the front screen, and these are the information regarding your journey. So basically the direction, things around you, your speed, so everything to make your journey pleasant.
Well, Peter, I have to say I'm a massive fan of what you and the guys have done on the interior. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Alex, and enjoy your drive.
I can't wait. Yeah, sorry guys, that's my bad. Just give me 1 second. Oh, brilliant. Right, so while my phone charges, and because I've got a bit of time because I ruined the shot, sorry again guys, I thought I would tell you about the interior. First impressions, really good. It's comfortable, it's light, it's airy, the materials are really nice, the quality of the stitching's lovely as well. In front of me, I've got a really great designed multi-function steering wheel. Speaking of which, let me quickly show you some of the features. On the left-hand side here, I've got volume controls, heated steering wheel button. Every car should have one of those. And on the right-hand side, I have got adaptive and predictive cruise control, which means that when the car sees a corner, it will slow it down. So extra points for safety. In the center console, the hub of the Enyaq IV, we've got a really nice, colorful, bright 13-inch touchscreen. Let me just quickly show you some of the functions, one of my favorites of which is this, stationary air conditioning. And what that means is if you want to leave your house at say 8 a.m. to go to work, all you do is just tell the car to be nice and warm. So a home from a home. You get in 8 a.m. it's really nice and warm. If you're leaving work at say, I don't know, 6 p.m. or so, tell the car, I want it to be nice and warm again for my journey home. You can just change the time as and when, and you can also do the same with the days. Down here, we've got the gear selector, which you can just use one touch really. You've got reverse, neutral, drive, all fairly standard stuff. You also have B, which is like the ultimate in braking regeneration. I'll show you guys that a little later on. There are a few more things that I want to show you as well. The first of which is this really nice scroller here, which means that you can change the volume really nice and easy. And one more thing about the touchscreen, it's in my field of vision, so I don't need to crane my neck down, get distracted, you know, spend time away looking from the road. In front of me, I've got a head-up display with augmented reality, and you eagle-eyed out there will see that there are some paddles connected to the steering wheel. You're probably wondering, Alex, why are there paddles? This is an EV. You're absolutely right. Good job pointing that out as well. This, ladies and gentlemen, is for brake regeneration. You can set it as low or as high as you want it. I'll show you that when I'm driving. Speaking of which, guys, can we crack on? I just want to drive this thing. All right, so I've done a lot of talking about the Enyaq IV, and now for the first time, I finally get to drive it. But first things first, heated seats on and heated steering wheel, because outside it's 2 degrees. I'm not built for 2 degrees. Anyway, first impressions, it's a lovely drive. It's serene, it is super quiet. I could probably just carry on going like this. We've got double glazing. The NVH levels are really amazing as well. I genuinely like sitting in here. And do you want to know something extra cool? You never drive alone. I've got a passenger with me. Let me show you. Okay, Laura, how are you doing?
I feel fabulous. Thanks for asking.
But yeah, Laura can help you with satellite navigation. She can turn up the radio. She can do a whole array of stuff just to make your life even easier when you're driving around. Another assistance system that can help you drive through traffic is adaptive cruise control. All you need to do is set it to a desired distance to the car in front, and then you effectively don't need to accelerate when you're coming off the line. And because this is an EV, we've obviously got torque from the get-go, which looks a little bit like this. That's good fun, that. For the city, you can get off the line super quickly. And you know what? I don't miss diesel, I don't miss petrol. An EV like the Enyaq IV is absolutely bang on the money, especially in city driving conditions. On these nice little twisty roads, I mean, that torque is pretty addictive. The power is good as well. It feels good through the corners. It accelerates strongly. The suspension is lovely. And the brakes as well. Everyone hold on, let me just test the brakes quickly. I mean, they're strong. They're strong, and they're also regenerative. So the harder I brake, the more energy I get back into the battery. So yeah, extra green points for me there. And look, let's put it into B mode now. Lift off the accelerator, and I'm getting free energy. I'm charging while driving. That's clever. You can hardly hear any wind noise or tyre roar. We've got double glazing. The NVH levels on these, so noise, vibration, harshness, are super awesome. So it's a relaxing, gentle car to drive, and it's also a car that anyone can get in and just feel instantly comfortable. It kind of wraps itself around you, and you feel like you're in a home from a home. These leather seats are lovely. These are actually way nicer than the seats that I've got in my house. We've got perforated leather on the seats and on the steering wheel, heated seats, massaging seats. What more do you want? Ride is lovely. It is so nice. And I don't know if you can hear that. But you can't hear anything because it's silent in here. In the Petrolhead Bible, you will see rear-wheel drive and a low centre of gravity. This does both. This also has loads of torque, decent power, great looks, really comfortable interior. It's super spacious. I mean, it's got to be the ultimate car, doesn't it? Now, even though the car doesn't need a charge, I've got a surprise for you anyway. Right, so I've travelled around 60 kilometres, and although the car isn't asking me for a charge, I want to show you guys anyway, just to prove how easy that process is. Now, bear with me, this could actually get a little bit complicated, so are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's do this. Step one is to go to the back of the car, open it up using your foot. Step two is lift up the false floor, get the charging cable out. Oh, this is very difficult so far, isn't it? Open up the flap, chuck it in like that, lovely jubbly. Side of the car, open that, plug it in. That was tough, wasn't it? Anyway, there are obviously different ways that you can charge your car, and to find out more, I'm going to catch up with Jill from Skoda.
Hi Alex, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Looks like you've got a present for me.
Yes, I do. I have actually a charging socket cover here. Do you want to try it?
I'll give it a go. Talk me through it. I think this is
it's
probably going to be quite simple, isn't it?
Yeah, click and push.
Right. Open that, would you mind?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. In it goes. Push.
And put it back in. And here we go, perfect cover. No dust, no dirt, no rain, no snow inside. I would say simply clever.
And I'd agree. Okay, so Jill, this is obviously a fully electric car, and there are doubters out there, haters, who might say, oh, an electric car doesn't have enough range, or what about the ecology? So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, Alex, thanks for bringing it up. There's really nothing to worry about with our Enyaq. It is a true alternative to any combustion engine vehicle. And also from an all-day usability perspective, it offers a lot.
So you would say it's a viable alternative to, say, a diesel or a petrol Kodiaq, something like that?
Exactly. So size-wise, it's definitely comparable to a Kodiaq. And, well, it is emission-free. That's definitely the benefit. And it is not only emission-free while you ride it, it also comes emission-free on a balance sheet when you actually purchase it. So you can have a totally green conscience if you want.
Skoda's got you. If you want to get an electric car, you know, there's loads of charging stations. I think there's 180,000 charging stations in Europe.
Exactly. So when you travel with a family to your weekend house, maybe something that is a bit far away than what you usually do when you run your errands, we get you also covered with a charging card that comes with the car. And as you said, actually, 180,000 charging stations are in it. Also, the Ionity network is covered. So you can fast charge on 400 stations across Europe.
125 kilowatt?
Exactly, that's what the car
Look
can
at
take.
me, I'm so knowledgeable. So there's obviously lots of ways that you can charge a car. So what do you say we head to the back, to the boot or the trunk and check those out?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Good idea.
Now, this being a Skoda, there's obviously loads of practical design solutions. So Jill, why don't you talk me through those?
Yes, let me start with the one that we are most famous for. Which one is it?
It's got to be ice scraper, right?
Yes, it is. New position is over here.
Perfect.
So what else do we got? Obviously, charging cables are a thing for an electric vehicle. We have two positions to put them. First of all, there's a bag that fits in perfectly into the side, and it holds our IV universal charger. This is basically a mobile wall box, but even better because it comes with two plugs. One is for the usual household charging, which you can basically find everywhere. And the other is for the three-phase charging that hopefully is in your garage, because this brings you up to 11 kilowatt of charging speed. And for everything else, we have loads of space down here. There is the Mode 3 cable that you use for public charging, and also the cover that I showed you before, and a small piece that I like the most because it's, to me, so Skoda.
Yeah.
It's a charging cable cleaner. Do you want to demonstrate?
You're right, that is so Skoda,
Yeah.
isn't it? Right, okay, I'll give it a go. Let's pretend that this is really filthy. We've been charging the Enyaq IV. You're my glamorous assistant, and it's pretty much a simple matter of just wrapping it round. Up we go.
Exactly.
Job done. And I presume that you just throw these away or just
Of
wash
course,
them or something
yes,
like that.
exactly. They are
Nice.
replaceable, so no dirty hands. And if you're too lazy to really tie it up here properly, you can just toss it and
close it up, and then everything is hidden. What's that one thing that you're most proud of?
we invented a whole new offer structure for the car. So we wanted to simplify it a lot. We wanted to create a better customer experience when you configure the vehicle, and we actually enhanced also the lifestyle aspect of the car. We created for the interior something we call internally design selections, or a moving living room to drive in, stay in, lounge in.
Sounds pretty good.
Yes, it is actually really supposed to give you the feeling that you have in your living room, like this cozy, cocooning feeling. And it's supported by the fact that, of course, this car is almost noise-free, right? And we have actually much of a feeling like hovering silently around. I really enjoyed it when I already tried the vehicle.
I think it's pretty obvious that I'm a massive fan of the Enyaq IV. It's great looking, it's comfortable, it's spacious, and you tech geeks out there will love the fact that it's always connected, always online. What's more, me as a petrol head, I'm not afraid that this is an EV. A range of more than 520 kilometers and zero CO2 emissions. But above all else, not only is this car safe, it's also genuinely a lot of fun to drive. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I am out of here.
Skoda. Simply clever.